Dark Lorraine Spencer. It's the sound of P.O.C. in the background. You got a white SUV sitting literally in the center of the intersection across from me as I'm powering on my phone. That third party, that's a silver car that just turned in front. This SUV right here, it just got through getting in motion. It was literally standing in position, and then it engages in parking in the red where there's no valid parking right there. What it was doing was standing right here in alignment, literally stopped in the middle of the intersection, parked horizontally, like you're in the crosswalk, parked horizontally, remaining there while I'm powering on my phone. I just took a picture of it. It's parked, and understand that that was positioning while I am powering on my phone, and I'm going to turn right around because the State's Fake Sun is right over me. All right, that is P.O.C. I intentionally power on my phone at this intersection of Plum, and you see how third parties are engaged in intentional conduct, making sure that they are in your path, and they do whatever they got to do. Excuse my French, but they do exactly whatever they got to do in order to make sure that you are surrounded, and that's what that third party was doing. Unable to catch, but she's on traffic camera, unable to capture her literally keeping her car horizontal. She was literally sitting there the moment I hold up my camera. She engages in conducting herself as though she's intending to park. It's the absence of coincidence. She is simultaneously horizontally placed in the center of Plum as I am turning on my phone. That's P.O.C. 8MBU 106. State's Fake Sun directly over me. That is P.O.C. 888-11K1. 7M 10544. 8KSL 139. 8EIE 603. 5SBM 589, 8MMY 111, 8MCW 485, 8BZT 661, 7FPZ 169, 98988S2, and we've got 8T44857, and we have that's sounding an alarm as I'm walking in different directions. 7LLP200. Again, that's 7LLP200. I'm at the intersection of Plum and Hall. Everything that I'm doing right now and everyone in relevant position crossing path in traffic, they are on traffic cameras at Plum and Hall. State's Fake Sun directly above me. Remaining at the Ontario Town Square and remaining at the library while I am there. So that's P.O.C. So I'm going to go ahead and go forward with documenting third parties. That's my focus. That is the stalker, and you got to get as many of them as possible. 5YGH267, 6UZX396, 5MBW237. Looks like 8TEE838, but I can't really see it. It's an orange Jeep. The license plate is in the windshield. 7AMR825, 8RZF025. That license plate looks like 8T. No, I can't see it. It's too far. Okay. 7HAH238. 8MHM019, BH27G89. 7WAK189. BKR9602 out of state, 6SCA301, 8MTX894, 8SSM942 or 842. It's a small Honda, or Hyundai, excuse me. 5ALJ250, 6LVH788, 8AGD486. And these are third parties intentionally placed in relevant position via Andy's Burgers, all of them monitoring State's Fake Sun directly over the venue. State is also moving orange light as they are patrolling past. That is consistently, repeatedly crossing path. They are one group surrounding. 8JEE979. OAKR8HR. You hear that honking on the horn as I make a new move in a different direction. That's what third parties do. This is why you document them. Because that third party is engaging criminal facilitation, creating audible activity such that the rest of them in the path are able to monitor as well. 7EIN654, 6NVK308, DAN 44. Documented that one before. 6308282. Many of them will be getting very serious federal charges for stalking a lot. It's already a violent charge, and they're documented. OAKR8HR. Whatever that is supposed to be. 8PUY 423. 80866R2, 7VZC621. And while they're driving out of the parking lot on the cameras of B&G Plaza, the state is directing light across the building. This is how you know what they are all doing. 7MPA 135, 8SAA 980, 7UTE 864, 8ERS 053, 6HRF 849, 8HMZ 440, 8TTT 735, sitting in their car, 5WSB 144, 8KCK 913. And guess what? Understand what third parties in the drive-thru are doing. They're sitting in their cars. You were talking about the same stalking conduct. They do it through engaging in some sort of activity whereby it doesn't look like they're just sitting in their car. It's the same thing when you're sitting at the traffic light. Okay, the police are stalking, sitting in their car in the traffic light, at the traffic light. It's the same conduct. You're getting past that outward veneer that the public entity relies on. They are group stalking in concert with the state and intentionally present and intentionally creating activity. 7NYP 553. BH44W08, 8FWM 782. As intentional as the state is with stalking with a light source, that's intentional as they are with being in your path. That's the system in operation. And that is psychopath conduct. That's a criminal partnership going on right there. That's what I'm documenting. 7UTE 864, in case I did not get that one already. I'm just going around and they come around because as I'm moving, they have to come around. So 32134X1. I think I got that one already. 7WAK 186. All right, that's a bunch of loud cars. Intentional conduct, that's audible activity. 5ALJ 250. 8AGD 486. 7LVH 788. Yeah, those sound familiar. I think I documented those already. Just making sure I got everybody that's group stalking inside of Andy's Burgers drive-thru. That is the method of presence. That's what that means. State's fake sun is literally staying directly above my head as I'm moving around, and state is engaging in that same circus conduct with light all over the place. All right, it's P.O.C. (183UP), that's a handicap plate. 8TOG 442. 7NNA 935. 8EXE 862. And understand what this is. This is a line of stalkers creating a barrier of light and a barrier of their presence. That's what this is at Andy's Burgers. It is the same thing everywhere you go. I'm just painting the picture. You're literally breaking down what they're doing. That's what they're doing. 02099W2, 7YUA 247. Sitting in a car, 7GZM 399, 7KHL 798, 7YFW 781, 7VIM 406, 1655 1M2, TFAM 4EV, 6TORO 18, 5KPZ 010, 6RXY 460, 09151N1. Let me get this one over here. That is 8DHH or HOHH. HDHH 751. Four ZTU217, 5EKH 652, 8NAW 377, stalking on the side of that car, 8DOJ 200, 6VNH 589, 5DHM 207, 4ZCT 119. That's a paper plate on an old Jeep. That's a means of criminal obstruction. It is BHB3C28. They put those paper plates on to conceal their license plates. 5LJC630. BZIS 850. 5BIA260. And 6NPW544. Oh, hi. It's 11:59 p.m. And that's P.O.C. States fake sign over Shiro's Liquor. Monitored inside the venues, followed here inside the venue, continuous P.O.C. inside. It's 12 p.m. on the dot. 7NNA 935, already documented that one. I'm walking back up Holt Boulevard, that is walking west from Holt Boulevard. Leaving Shiro's Liquors, ongoing flashing of lights. So the state is Omnitrans engaged in P.O.C. while I'm inside of the store, and the state is directing light inside of that store, meaning flashing light and moving light inside of the venue, which is absolutely impossible light activity. It's P.O.C. 8 MAM 181, 7 VLU 958. And while I am remaining at B&G Plaza, the state engaging in ongoing molestation of my person as third parties in traffic are patrolling on Holt Boulevard. The state is just flash. It looks like flash photography. The state's just flashing light. Okay. You'll see the third party. She's got on a yellow beanie, pink sweat top, gray sweat bottoms. She with the long braids. She's got long braids over her hair. She's entering the venue, engaging in P.O.C. The state's flashing light. That's on Shiro's Liquors camera. That is on B&G Plaza cameras as well. 8R76322. These are third parties that are in relevant position while the state is flashing with light as well. 5DTD835. 8F, I'm sorry, scratch that one. 8DVW392. 7YGE081, I believe. 1769472. 89460N2, 8S60839, 5KVE707, 8LHC786, 8RSV935, 7FCY490, 4WEZ988, 7M16889. That's the state flying at a very low hovering elevation right over the 150 carport, 150 East County Building carport, hovering right over. That's right beside me where I am at, crossing the street at Plum and Holt. So, and the state is flying over B&G Plaza as well. So I'm just engaging in ongoing documentation of third-party group stalker 7VPT070. Crossing path right now at 12:19, including Omnitrans. So understand, the state is flying over, the state stalking with its fake sun, and Omnitrans is in relevant position. License 1370, I think it says 998. 1370998 is essentially similar. It's bus number 1327, driving westbound on Holt Boulevard. State's fake sun is right here. It's P.O.C. GRN 994, 8Y04 177, touching, 7LKA 092, touching, 8DWK 070, 5WQV 924, 6CY, I'm sorry, YW 945, I believe, 5JWU 927, 8SDN 473, RMZ, I can't see that one, 7ZYS 378, I believe. This is AT10R and 8NJF452 is on the back. There's a paper on the front and a plate on the back. 98991S1. $7LY034, substantially similar, driving west right now on Holt Boulevard on the traffic cameras. 77161 YouTube. That's Bitco Foods. Bitco Foods, California number 221371. This is license 93596M1. I'm crossing the street right now. There's a Latino male with a cane. That's where I'm at. This is P.O.C. All of them in relevant position at the traffic light. They're all monitoring 7SML 777, 7PDN 657. Looks like 7ZZ 0. I can't see the rest of that plate. Scratch that. 8ESW 869. And they're trying really hard to cover up their license plates. I know that. Third-party group stalkers in relevant position. Get their license plate. I'm actually going to go ahead and get all these license plates of third parties. 7SJM 084. 6XDN 656. 5JRK 803. 8PMJ 896. 7674 7A1. 4NHC 969, CDP 4592, that's an Arizona plate, 5JNW 349. It's currently 12:23 p.m. 8CQT 152, 8REZ 086, 8C, oh, I'm sorry, that looks like a Q. 8CQU 225, it's a third-party group stalker making noise to my left as I'm crossing path. Okay. 93925R2, 5UAE144, 4WJV755. .793XB, that's a handicap. 7MPL 725 06878 T1, 7HOH 386, 8GNT 513, 7MQP 484, 1040C handicap plate. I've already documented this Ontario vehicle, 1469611. That's a City of Ontario vehicle. City of Ontario constantly engaged in P.O.C. using all of its vehicles to do so, specifically for crossing path, to stalk with light, engaging criminal facilitation of P.O.C. as well. 7WKP 619. It is 12:25 p.m. so I'm at the bench adjacent to the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, in front of or behind, however you want to mention that. How about betwixt 280 Women and the Senior Center? Okay, the Ontario City Hall is on the opposite side of the Senior Center. That's where I'm at right now. State's fake son in tow. I remain surrounded. Hanging on the edge of their seats, listening to every word. Present, parked above me in aircraft. Stalking in relevant position via police, fire, ambulance. ready to sound sirens at the drop of a dime, and third parties diligently keeping their presence and engaging in visually being present and crossing path, as based on what I do. It's 12:26 p.m. Ongoing sirens, starting and stopping. Fire truck crossing path behind me on Lemon. Different sets of sirens, by the way. That's the state stalking the sirens. So that is the fire truck crossing path under the state's fake sun, and also the state amplifying and sounding sirens. It's 12:38 p.m. That's the state sounding plane flying over as I pick up my phone. So let me give you a visual. State's fake sun right here over me where I sit. This is it remaining. Understand what I just took a picture of? The sun is the state's fake sun, and this is a group stalker intentionally in the path. She's walking intentionally in the path. The state is sounding plane. Understand that fake sun is remaining right over here at the same intersection, the museum and 150 East Holt, where the state's fake sun followed me over there. And understand, because it quote unquote rises over there, it's over me in the morning. That is the state's fake sun remaining right over here in this same area all day long. I've already established that. I'm just showing how P.O.C. does not stop, and that's what I'm documenting. Excuse me. It's P.O.C. It's 12:41 p.m. Okay, that was a helicopter flying over my head, if you didn't catch that, as I leave the bench after being there for a prolonged period, and as I walk to the library. The state is present, stalking and flying over me. And I'll go ahead and capture this. It's in relevant position. HARASSMENT 114. Can't really see that now. HARASSMENT 114. Substantially similar. TENV 949. Sitting in their car right here at OTC, Ontario Town Square, while the state is still flying in a circle over the town square. They're driving too fast to get their license plate. And while I'm reading that other plate, random flashing light in the middle of the intersection at B Street and Lemon, right where I'm walking. That's state action, okay? They're monitoring. 7 PKZ 599, including USPS, right where this flashing light is occurring. They're creating light activity facing north on B Street. Helicopter flying in a circle, present while the state was flying in a circle. 920-5890, monitoring with the state, touching while the state's flying in a circle. This is P.O.C, sexual group assault and battery, LPR 96. This is group stalking, by the way. This is what they do. 8 FPA 873 and 8 MPG 911. Alrighty, that's called surrounding. They are perverted, obsessed stalkers, literally. Cornering, that's what they call themselves doing, surrounding you and touching you all together with light because they're monitoring. And guess what? The helicopter is flying in a circle while they're doing that. That's federal group stalking and monitoring. That's the psychopath in the helicopter. These are psychopaths that I'm documenting acting with that entity. That, by the way, stalks with a fake sun during the day. That shows you how demented they are. This is not a series of coincidences that I'm pointing out every single day. This is the entirety of the system. Every single last one of them. Acting like they're normal, sitting around in their cars with headlights on, looking like a stalker, while helicopters are flying around every day as I document it. It's called group stalking. It's called monitoring. And it's a satanic system. It's 5:34 p.m. and that included USPS, as it always. P.O.C. includes everyone. I'm just pointing out some names that you might be surprised by, and you need not be surprised. A third party or state actor is just that, a third party or a state actor. The state of California is monitoring, and when I say everybody, that's exactly what I mean. It's exactly what I mean. So here's a group stalker that was creeping from the back street, waiting for my arrival. This one's touching with light. 8 GNT 513. Their presence is not coincidental. They're making sure they line the path. Again, present in traffic, present in any building, present in any line, anywhere they're at. They're monitoring it. This one in particular, coming back from the back street. Go ahead, 6UZE 906. Creating more light activity. Helicopter flying right over the street as well. 8 TTB 031. Creeping from the back street, knows that I'm coming in this direction. Helicopter literally right over the car. P.O.C. And they're sitting at the stop sign, both of them operating their communication devices, touching with light, coming from the back street on transit. Hear the helicopter? We're going to prosecute that. That's a stalker. That's a stalker. There's another one coming back from the dead end, Emporia, where the Amtrak train station is not open to any patrons. It's used for a means of group stalking, and third parties loiter over there while I am walking in the path and a helicopter is flying over. It's P.O.C. Okay, so we're gonna, oh, they're going into the 150 East Hope parking lot, which is closed. It's Saturday. Okay. Going out onto Transit, it's a pickup truck. Going out onto Transit, it'll be on camera. Going out onto Plum Avenue, it'll be on camera. Either way that it goes, that's P.O.C. back there. That's all they're doing back there. And that's all that they're doing everywhere that I go. I'm just pointing out while they're present, and they're all surrounding in every direction with their headlights. The helicopter is flying over and following from now the library, which was then to the Ontario Town Square, and now to Holt, while all those group stalkers were surrounding me with their headlights. Monitoring. Psychopaths monitoring together. 5:37 p.m. GRN 994 6MM J56 ELSOSA 23116T1 8MFY 916, I believe. 8SPU 749 5YHT 362, I believe. 8JU23. I didn't see that whole plate. They're driving past me on Holt, all of them monitoring, coming from the Holt Euclid cameras. Paper plate, that's criminal obstruction. 778H271, I believe. 8EEL 941. So when I tell you I'm just raking them in, identifying third parties by their license plates, this is why. It's the whole system in operation. And in California, there's some sickos. 8FGF268 is a sicko. It's a stalker, and it's doing it via Andy's Burgers drive-thru. Okay, L348NO. 5LO1274. 8AEF375. 7TQW824. Group stalker on a bike with spotlights. That's a means of monitoring. They're on the cameras right now at Plum and Holt. It is the same exact P.O.C. It's a means of creating light activity while they are in relevant position. Let me take a picture for your education. That is P.O.C. It's 5:39 p.m. Paper plate AS79L96. CFK838. 8RSM035. The same plate, D991LO, finds himself in my path a lot. Uh, 8RSM035, 7UJT260, 7HUK927, 54326S2, 7TIX851. Light activity ready as I'm walking, and another one in front of me with their tail lights, turning on the turn signal. This is cooperative conduct for creating light, audible, and presence. 7KBP402. 7YFW781, 8LWB725, 51711J2. And this is on the cameras of B&G Plaza now. That's where I'm at. So let's be clear, you got another group stalker on the back street of Transit, that's relevant position. And my point was that every license plate that I gather, like I said, where you claim that you live, where you claim that you work, where you claim that you're a customer, it does not matter under the criminal elements of monitoring, whereby a public entity is monitoring you through the vicarious stalking presence by third parties who, as I am documenting, are clearly engaging in that stalking conduct. They're engaged in a pattern of stalking, and they act as a pack. That's demonic activity. 8BNN 838, just sitting on the back street of Transit. Just manning the post, that's what that is, being in position. Understand, I'm on Holt Boulevard, right, sitting at the bus stop inside of Shiro's Liquor, walking through the parking lot. That third-party group stalker is in relevant position sitting on the back street, and that is stalking. That's P.O.C. Mind you, a plane is flying directly over me as I'm walking through the parking lot of B&G Plaza. Okay, let's point out some other hallmarks. Flashing light in the center of the intersection at B Street and Lemon, while USPS is sitting right there as well, while the helicopter is flying around in a circle. Following me from the library to Ontario Town Square to Hope Boulevard. This is called criminal monitoring. It is 5:42 p.m. This one is touching with light. They're entering at the time I'm walking. It's intentional touching. It's intentional presence. 5NJX 161, because that's group stalking. AVO1 M31, paper plate, criminal obstruction. 7SHK 511. And by the way, they're all touching together because they're all monitoring. So they're all creating light for purposes of everyone else to be able to monitor more effectively. They're all creating audible activity, or one or all of them are creating audible activity. The state is creating activity for purposes of effective monitoring. So it is not just engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring, it is also criminal facilitation, especially including sexually violent touching of the target individual. While you're stalking, you're also touching as a group. That's exceedingly violent, sexually motivated conduct. That's based on the nature of criminal monitoring. So that's how you prosecute that as well. And it's group conduct, so it is attributed to everybody. 8JUZ 328, 5NJX 161. We've got another one sitting in her car over here in relevant position. 8DOB 480. Shiro's Liquor, B&G Plaza cameras, and Shiro's Liquor's cameras. P.O.C. Alrighty, I am walking west on Holt Boulevard, just going on around to gather more third-party group stalkers engaged in ongoing P.O.C. At 5:45 p.m. Omnitrans going westbound, Route 61 is sitting at Lemon and Holt in relevant position right now. Creating light activity. They are in the path, they are in direct alignment. They're engaged in not only monitoring, they're engaged in criminal facilitation of monitoring as they sit, loitering, creating that ongoing activity. (7MCL B49 or 849, excuse me. 8RDW 879. State touching with light as 6UNF 775 enters the driveway. So that is 6UNF 775 touching with the state, because it's monitoring with the state and it's not ignorant of the state's touching. Let's see, 7UJT260, 8RSM035. 7CFK838. Understand, Omnitrans is touching as well. They remain in relevant position. Even as they drive off up Holt Boulevard, they remain in relevant position. Monitoring with communication devices spans for a radius, a distance, especially Omnitrans. I think I got that license plate already. And the state is flying over Andy's Burgers right now while walking around the drive-thru looking for license plates. 5LO1274, in case I did not read that one already. I want to get this one, 5XXD895. 8AEF375. 8FGF268. 5YTW200. That is P.O.C. Indubitably. And we're going to get this one back here. It's not a coincidence as they arrive at their car or they start driving off in their car or as they're getting out of their car. It's presence and activity creation, 7PCR910. State is flying over here in plane and helicopter and creating what is similar to flash photography in the middle of the street. This is monitoring. And you're seeing how psychopaths act together. This is PAC, P-A-C-K, PAC conduct. They act in packs. It's demonic. Somebody using a company vehicle, that is AAA for monitoring, 90191V2. Says the number 05 on the side of it. He's monitoring in a AAA truck. Well, it looks like the county building is open. I see a whole bunch of cars that we can definitely go document because they're loitering around, creating light activity, stalking, sitting around in their cars, and the state is flying over. We already know it's P.O.C. here. The state keeps its fake sun over this building. Ontario police crossing paths, stalking with all of them as well. They're using communication devices, so that's the ease with which they engage in this group criminal conduct. BH80V39, that's a paper plate on a Toyota, looks like a CRV, a white SUV truck. (7GXC758), 6ROC733, 8SHW265, 7LWL878, 8TNJ112, 7LRX709, 8SVB007, 8LNJ175, 120178D. That is an out-of-state plate. Looks like Oklahoma, Montana. Sorry. 7GIR267. San Bernardino County license 1584188. 6 U.A.C. 123, 8 TGP 606, 6 HSX 521, RN4YOU, RN for stalking 93948Y1, 7 PLT 789. The RNs, the nurses, the so-called medical professionals inside of those facilities where I was kidnapped were engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. Do not be deceived by any title. They are perverts and they are criminals engaged in a satanic and criminal system. 7AZY 494, hiding behind those kinds of titles, and they're criminals. They're a disgrace to the medical profession. 7SYU 877, and that RN's engaged in P.O.C. 8FVJ 682. This line in front of the county building is relevant positioning, right across the street from the museum. Sitting in their cars in relevant position, they're all monitoring together in different manners. Standing in a line, sitting in their cars, driving past back and forth. 8 MMK 459. Light passing. Oh, that's the same one I got, and he'll be on the traffic camera right now at 551 crossing path. 8DZX 062, 8KEV 257. Let's see, 7KCF 186. 8CMF 029, and the one that I just recited sitting in their cars as well. This is nothing but monitoring, okay? 7KCF 186, sitting in their car. Others are surrounding with light. This is called P.O.C. Some creating light, some are standing outside in a line looking like they're doing something. Regardless of whatever it is criminal monitoring. You remember all the facts that are related. Nothing is isolated or looked at in a vacuum. 8ENV 931. This is criminal monitoring at the 150 East Holt County building. Saturday, January 9, 2021, it's 5:52 p.m. And it is P.O.C. 7YWT 055. Oh, and they're not only engaged in monitoring, like I said, they're engaged in criminal facilitation of monitoring, right? That by the state. They're enabling the government to monitor me by their presence, activity, and light creation. And they're enabling other third-party group stalkers to monitor me as well. 7AJS 411, 8ETL 719. And they're all engaged in touching together. Do you understand the sexual violence inherent in that? Because they are doing it via criminal monitoring, and you are not seeing a physical hand touches. Nothing that is legally relevant under the analysis. It is just as much of a violation, and it is exceedingly perverted and violent, and you have no right to touch, especially when you are a stalker. AAH 75KV, 8SMS 665, especially when that stalker is the government. Absolutely not. Where the government tries to get away with it through acting vicariously through all the people around you. It's even more perverted, and it is more sexually violent. That is subjecting the targeted individual to an obscene amount of violation as they're engaged in this demonic touching with this light centered on their monitoring conduct. But understand, this is demonically rooted. This treatment with light, this centrality of light, their use of light. It's one thing to monitor, but then they're engaging in, what's the point in creating shadows on a ceiling other than seeking to try to falsely depict one that's claiming that it's happening as crazy? I get that, that's the malice, but that is reflective of that entity that's doing that, not reflective of the targeted individual. And that's the beauty of documentation as well. And it speaks to, you need to understand that that's demonic, okay? Now, how are they actually doing it? They're doing it because they're merely directing light onto the ceiling, okay? But that is demonically rooted. That is inspired by Satanism, okay? Shadows on ceilings, seeing shadows walking by on the ceilings as third parties are crossing path. That is both number one and number two. It's light activity. It's visual activity, and it is also demonic activity. All right, that's outside of the criminal elements of monitoring, but you need to understand that what they're doing. It is very, very demented. and then they have the audacity to touch you with that light, and then they're all doing it together as a group. No, you're going to be prosecuted for that. That is an egregious violation of a person. Nobody wants to be touched with your weird voodoo treatment with light while you're breaking the law using it. It's serving a criminal purpose, and you're touching just like any other method of touching. You can't touch me with your hand. You can't touch me with your finger. You can't touch me with the stick in your hand. That's an extension of yourself. You can't touch me with any instrument of criminal monitoring either. That's what they are doing, and they are doing it on an expansive level. And it is not only it's not only a physical violation. It is that which is intended to do harm to the target individual mentally as well. Okay, being targeted in that manner. And so that is something that is to be addressed, and that's why I'm pointing it out. Pointing it out as third parties engage in it, but you need to understand that that is a part of the P.O.C. That's what they're doing routinely. The state is doing it all day long while it is molesting with its light, and they are all present in relevant position, maintaining presence and creating activity as the state is molesting you with its light. Okay? It is inherently sexually violent conduct. You're touching me, you're molesting my person with light, you're touching me in the same way I wouldn't let you touch me with your hand on that place, and so you're not allowed to touch me in any other place with any other instrument either. It is to be appreciated under federal law. That is no small matter whatsoever. That's crucial, and that is to be recognized under federal legislation. That was P.O.C. And I literally just went to Shiro's just to document third parties following me there engaging in P.O.C., including USPS and Omnitrans. Helicopter over my head. That solidifies everything. I mean, it's already, but that just is the icing on the cake. It is the absence of coincidence, and they are psychopaths acting together. So in other words, it is not a coincidence that you have third parties coming out of every single direction, aiming light onto me while the helicopter is flying in circles, and the state is also, because those are not headlights, it's flash-like activity and even if it was a third party, understand that that's an intentional activity creation, but it was not headlights. That's the state literally creating bright flashing light in the middle of the intersection, right in front of where USPS was located, while I am reciting third party license plates as the state is flying over me in helicopter after flying over my head as I leave the bench that I was sitting at for a prolonged period, and is present, flying in a circle, in relevant position, creating audible activity while third-party group stalkers and the state monitor me while I'm in the bathroom. Okay? That's another form of sexual violence that the state and third parties are engaged in routinely. There are many methods of violating the target individual's person and their ordinary sensibilities, and they do it via monitoring with communication devices, and so I am documenting as many as possible engaged in that sexually motivated and demented conduct. It is currently 5:59 p.m. and that also included Ontario police engaged in much of the same stalking, crossing path in relevant position with every other third-party group stalker, and engaged in criminal facilitation by its presence, monitoring with all of the rest of them. The police equals the helicopter, equals the planes, equals the fire department, equals the ambulance. That's the state present directly, monitoring directly, facilitating monitoring directly. Every third party I'm documenting is the state vicariously present. This is stalking by entity that I'm documenting. I am literally documenting the entity directly and vicariously. It is a stalker, and it is a psychopath, and it is a sex offender. It has a serious issue with touching because it's monitoring, and that's going to be very fiercely prosecuted under federal law. It is 6 p.m. on the dot, and I'm going to publish this P.O.C. I'm sorry. Excuse me, I'm going to publish this as soon as possible. It is Saturday, January 9th, 2021. It's currently 6 p.m. and that is the P.O.C. I am at the museum where the state engages and third parties engage in their same psychopath P.O.C. as they are literally listening to me, meaning as they're driving back and forth on Euclid Avenue and on Holt Boulevard, and all around. They are listening to me sleep. They are aware of every minute movement, and the state literally uses the sound of the train. The state uses the activity, meaning the sound, the noises created by third parties who are also listening in real time, and stalking with activity. All right, this is literally a psychopath that acts 24 hours a day. And they engage in this ongoing demented soundtrack to accompany and monitor even while I'm asleep. They're obsessed psychopaths, and that's what happens overnight. The state literally sitting around all night, staying in relevant position, i.e. stalking, using its sirens while it's sitting around in the corner listening to me breathe, and then sounding its sirens and then stopping, and sounding their sirens and then stopping, and then using the train, and then flying over in a helicopter or airplane, and then a third party revving their engines or honking their horns. They're psychopaths, and that's literally what they do every single day and night at the museum specifically. That's what they do. I am not exaggerating. I don't have to. I said airplanes are following me everywhere, and that's exactly what you see. That is not a coincidence everywhere I'm at, and especially it is the targeted conduct. I'm showing you how they're flying over my head. I'm showing you how they're flying over me everywhere that I go. Okay, that is targeted conduct. I do not have to exaggerate. I don't have to make up stories. I am literally revealing that which is demented psychopath conduct of a group, a unified group, and I cannot put it any more clearly than that. That is literally what they do at the museum while I'm sleeping, and it is highly abnormal. And this is what is so. For me, when I'm thinking about the ordinary target individual that cannot speak for themselves, this is what is so, I could just, it is that which fills me with rage, because this is what a psychopath does. It is the one that is demented mentally, literally has issues, and is in every way focused on you. Everybody at 150 East Holt, they're monitoring, and that's all they're doing, by the way, okay? And that's what psychopaths do while they're outwardly acting like they are doing. They're not doing anything else but monitoring, while a helicopter is flying all around and random flashing of light. And these people act like they're normal. They are not. They are sick out here in California. Okay, I don't have to make it up. I'm just publishing the documentation. You view for yourself. All this stuff, all this activity with light that I'm showing you pictures of, I'm showing you this is monitoring conduct, and it is also demonic. It's not normal. They're not just normal. They're not just normal. They're not just psychopaths. This is that which is rooted in Satanism. But if you are unfamiliar with that, and that's fine, and we don't have to go into depths of that. I'm just letting you know its root. It's of the demonic, and these are psychopaths that are engaging in this criminal system. And there is no exception, meaning there's not some that are doing it in California and some that are not. Everywhere that I have gone, since I have been aware that I am being monitored by the state, everywhere that I go, this is the conduct that is accompanying everyone that is around, everyone, okay, engaging in the same exact pattern, There is no exception, and this is not your ordinary conduct. These are demented individuals, demented, of the government flying the helicopter, in that position to have access to a helicopter to stalk an American citizen. You would think that I'm blowing up buildings and threatening Americans or something for them to use all of those resources, and for them to engage in that level of expenditure of resources, for them to pay such close attention to me. You would think so. That is a demented individual using their vehicle to stalk. They're entirely focused on me. It's just not normal. And this is the other part of what I am not only going to prosecute what I am saying, I am prosecuting, and I am prescribing, okay? And it is a matter of justice. There are those who need to be abruptly snatched out of their positions. They need to be not in law enforcement. They need to be far away from the medical profession. They need to be put in straitjackets. And that is the other part of what I am revealing, okay? I am not only prosecuting, I am prescribing. This is not your ordinary. I mean, there's nothing ordinary about federal group stalking monitoring, period. But what I am saying, it's not even just the fact, okay, I can even, because I'm so deep into this, I can even rationalize, okay, if it's a criminal system, all right, you've got a corrupt government and it's monitoring you, and that's a no-no, okay, but they are engaged in that which is, you're talking about once someone is aware that you're engaging in criminal conduct, there's a point of futility. Like, what is your point anymore? It's not a secret. And then not only that, it's not a secret to that individual. It's not a secret at all. Like, it's literally all over the internet now. The notion of federal group stalking and monitoring, whether a third party group stalker wants to acknowledge it or not, which is irrelevant, they're doing their job, they're a criminal, and they're a psychopath engaging in P.O.C, speaking like the puppet that they are on behalf of the state, okay? But it is already, it's not a secret anymore. So there is a point to where, what are you accomplishing? Literally, what are you accomplishing? And there is a level of, that which I have clearly said. They're not working with all of their marbles. Not in any way that removes criminal responsibility. That's not what I'm saying. But this is not normal. It's not normal. And what I am telling you is that it's not normal. And on the outside, the veneer, okay, is that this is everyday people working in your everyday bank, in your hospital, at the schools, working for UPS. They're just delivering their mail. They're just, cleaning up the museum grounds. They're just, doing their good old, solid, hardworking, construction. And this is not normal. They're monitoring. And I am literally stripping down what is the guise under which a people are engaged in demented group conduct together. Like, together. How do you get together with another? It's one thing to do something shameful alone, but it's another thing to be in agreement with a group of people and you're all operating together. How do you, me personally, I couldn't do that. I would be too ashamed to let anyone else know that I'm doing it, and they're all doing it together, okay? And when I say they all are, that's what the pattern of conduct reveals, and you need to understand that it is what it is. The evidence speaks for itself, and so this is a matter of prosecution, and it is a matter of prescription. This is that which is of psychopaths, okay? And that is not exaggerating whatsoever. They are extraordinarily abnormal and unnatural in their conduct, and absolutely on end about maintaining focus on what I do, on when I'm doing it, and everywhere that I go. How you get that level of attention from the government and from complete strangers, and it's a whole other discussion dealing with people who you may have thought were your friends or are even related to you, or you were romantically inclined or romantically engaged with. That's a whole other thing. But you are talking about that which is not normal, and it is that which is of a psychopath. And if you're looking for the description or some way to rationalize it, you cannot. It is exactly what I am telling you, and it is a matter of documentation. It is not merely my opinion. And as deliberate as the state is with stalking in a helicopter, you need to understand that it is identically shared. That conduct, that obsession, that demented stalking obsession is shared by every third party who is outwardly conducting themselves as though they are doing something else. This is how public corruption exists. This is how federal group stalking and monitoring is an operation in the state of California. Okay, and this is also why I have documented as many third parties as possible, because there is no outward veneer whereby they will escape any federal prosecution for the criminal activity that they are engaged in, and it is egregious criminal activity. It is perverted. It is demented. Okay, it is sexually motivated and predatorial. Right? It is that which is in contradiction to everything that they falsely represent on their Facebook and on their Twitter and on their Instagram and at their workplace and at their church and their Bible study classes. They're not normal. It's not normal. And there is no exception. That's what you need to understand. So that's P.O.C. 6:10 p.m. And I just have to get that because you need to understand what I'm documenting is like, it is unprecedented. It is unprecedented. And then as the psychopaths are sitting up listening right now, listening to the truth spoken about them, and they are monitoring to that. I mean, it's a level of obsession that prescribes straight jackets. That's my bottom point. There is a degree of disturbance, and many of them pose a danger depending, who they are and the positions that they hold, and they need to be snatched out of those positions. They need to be put away because they literally represent a harm to society. They represent a harm to the government, in the positions that they hold. Okay, this is not only revealing a criminal system in operation in the state. You're talking about unveiling what is rampant, concealed corruption that is embedded into society and embedded into the court system. You're talking about the police. You're talking about there are people that are obtuse to the notion that you can't categorize all police. Well, yes, I can. I have been subject to criminal monitoring, and for years, first of all, and then becoming aware of it. Now I've got years of documenting it, and everywhere that I have gone, that is the elimination of. So you can say, because I haven't gone to San Francisco, that I can't say that it's all police. Okay, I guess you could say that. You could say it's all police in Southern California where I've been, if you want to limit it that way. It's just an unwillingness to acknowledge the fact that California has an issue. It has a very serious corrupt issue, and it is beyond just an illegality, an issue of the law. You're talking about people that are engaged in that which is demented. It's not normal. Okay, it is not normal. You do not engage in this coincidentally. You don't engage in it ignorantly. You don't engage in it by just happenstance. You are intentionally engaging in that with the state and on behalf of the state. And it is that which was deliberately designed to sound crazy, so that anyone claiming that it is happening to them will immediately be dismissed. All right. This presupposes that there is no way to ever prosecute a public entity for engaging in this kind of criminal activity, and documentation sweeps all of that out of existence. It literally does. And documentation also reveals how there is an absence of, and how it is impossible to have those many coincidences. And this is what I am saying, as unwilling as one may be to acknowledge the fact that the police are corrupt. And I can generally say that I have done the investigation. I have traveled around in Southern California. You're right. I have not gone to Northern California. I have not gone to we could say San Francisco, and documented up there. You can say that, okay? But basically, what this is demonstrating what the state of California is engaged in. The Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court is not acting alone. The Court of Appeals, 4th District, 2nd Division, is demonstrating what the state of California is engaged in, okay? The California Supreme Court, the criminal conduct that it engaged in, which is the pattern of conduct, for federal group stalking and monitoring, is demonstrating what the state of California is engaged in. They are acting complicit to what is a system in this state. That is what my documentation reveals. So anything that someone wants to say, well, you haven't been to this precise county and you don't know, it's an unwillingness to accept what the documentation clearly demonstrates. Southern California, and I can't speak for it, but where I have been and documented, even in the court system, with the police, okay, in the jail system, they are demonstrating what the state of California is engaged in. The entire state. This is a criminal system in operation in this state. And I have literally documented every aspect of it. Yes, and I am in Southern California. And understand, I have documented, and this is representative of what the state is engaged in, what the state of California, the criminal system that it is operating, and this is how it operates. And this is what the people of the state of California are doing. Okay, this is what the government, the state of California, is commissioning. This is what they are enabling for the people to do. They're targeting American citizens for whatever reason, and this is how they are doing it. And understand that it is not your normal criminal conduct. It is that which is literally a people of demented character, okay, engaging in that which is abnormal conduct. And they're wearing judges' robes. They're sitting on the bench wearing judges' robes, wearing police uniforms. Okay, they're sworn into the California bar. Okay, they're medical professionals. All right. Sworn to do no harm, and they are acting in direct contrast to that. And I've documented it. This has happened to me. And this is not an exaggeration. This is fact. Okay? And that's that which is shared. Every third party that I'm documenting is driving down the street. They are intentionally engaging in that conduct. They are equally obsessed and engaged in monitoring and what I'm saying and where I'm going. And do not ask me why. All I am doing is documenting it, and I'm also letting you know, being upfront and personal and subjected to it. This is that which is of psychopaths, and that is the black and white of it. That is the totality of it. And so prosecution and justice requires, specifically when you are thinking about the criminal methods engaged in, i.e. kidnapping and criminal defamation, not only by third parties but by the state as well. This is that which justice requires as far as straitjackets and giving the sort of quote-unquote medical attention that a federal group stalker, regardless of the position that they hold, needs. Because I am revealing that which is very, very abnormal conduct. Very abnormal, and it is shared. It does not matter what your status is, meaning it doesn't matter whether you're a state actor, it doesn't matter whether you are a third-party actor. It is an identical behavioral pattern. Equally psychopaths, in other words. Yeah, that's what's occurring, and that's what they do all night long. They just have a monitoring party, and it is centered on Euclid and Holt, where I'm at, and they are literally engaging in psychopath conduct altogether. It's demonic activity that you are visually looking at, and I'm letting you know that it is that which is demented, and it is group conduct, and they are acting together, and that is the P.O.C. as well. It's 6:17 p.m. And I will close with this. Omnitrans is 8387 is engaged in P.O.C. and understand that as long as their bus route is running and I'm at the museum, that's exactly what they're doing with the state. The state is using their presence, using any means of activity that it creates for purposes of monitoring, and Omnitrans is not ignorant of that. Okay? Omnitrans is a willful actor, and that's the same for every third party. I'm just saying there's no coincidence. The state is not using their presence, and they're ignorant of it. The state is engaging in all manner of flash and light, and while they have to be present, that's how P.O.C. exists, because it's supposed to be that which is normal conduct, and the target individual is crazy. And so it exists with the P.O.C. coexists with the necessary presence of third parties, and Omnitrans is a third party, no different, and using that brand name, using that instrument of interstate commerce for criminal monitoring of an American citizen. It is 6:18 p.m. and that is the P.O.C.